Hi, my name is Snowshed. This is Spurs Yeah podcast. Giving a big quick shout out to Andy, whose birthday it was last week, and Stookie, who's hopefully coming to the North London Derby, Peter Stoke-Switch. I'm going to talk about a bit more addition to the last video I did. It's really interesting how a lot of clubs hate Chelsea and Man City, quite rightly so, for the money that they're trying to buy the title. We've actually benefited. Tottenham, we've benefited. First of all, it broke up that Arsenal-Man United duopoly. Because they were running away with the title. They were dumb. Arsenal were on the verge of. They didn't obviously. They were on the verge of going on to. They were on the trebles. They had that invincible season, but if they had been able to sign Terry, who the rumour was they were looking to sign at that time, if Chelsea couldn't manage to clear their debts, they would have signed Terry apparently. They could have had an incredibly dominant period. Man United, they're still dominant, and they've been in and about, up and down, but they have really managed to recover and bounce back from the retirement of key players, and the departure of key players. But if you look at the fact that Chelsea, when they bought their money in, they shook things up a huge amount. And then Man City came in, with Benitez. Obviously, he had a huge amount of success in that period, but as soon as after he had all that success, people may know that his success started to dip. Although he had that incredible season where they did challenge for the title, it kind of went off the rails, disagreements, because Man City's money changed everything for him as well. And there was a gap. Now, Man City obviously wanted to fill that. Luckily, we were able to get in. Harry turned us around. We made a load of errors. But in terms of the silver linings, it's an incredible thing that if you look at it, Inter Milan 2 years ago were on course to become champions of Europe. They did the treble. It's amazing. Now, 2 years later, they're going to struggle. They might even struggle to make it in the Champions League. Chelsea and Arsenal, who have been consistent in the Champions League. Arsenal was it 12 years in a row. Chelsea, 6 years in a row. May now struggle to get in that Champions League. People have a go at Tottenham for not spending big on wages. The reason you don't spend big on wages, if you want to, would rather spend big on transfer fees or on wages, I'll always say transfer fees, because you can amortize those transfer fees over the lifetime. Wages are a constant source of money. If you look at some wages, they're equivalent to transfer fees. Over a lifetime, not only do you have to pay these as wages, say £100,000 a week, whatever, there's national insurance contributions, which we pay, but there's also employees' national insurance contributions, which we have to pay as well. And that's a huge amount of splash. That is, you can't begin to believe how much money that is. And that factors into those costs, and that escalates the cost. That's why Levy has this low wage model, and he tries to incentivise with bonuses, whatever. And hopefully we'll be able to do, if we ever do relist again, he'll do share options, which will hopefully then reduce the amount of money we have to pay. Because if we hit this, you have these share options. If this, you have this kind of share options, which hopefully most players will turn to cash anyway. But it's incredible how much money is gone on wages. Arsenal's net transfer spend is lower than ours. But when you factor in wages, it's much higher than ours. And apparently that's one of the reasons why Wenger didn't sign in the window. He was told, look, even though he's been given a huge amount of money, he hasn't been able to raise Fabregas. Or as good as Arteta is, he's not always good as Fabregas. As good as Nasri may not be, but as good as he was for Arsenal. And Chamberlain's a good player, but for a lot of them to ask take on Nasri's role. As well as those who have done, the fact that if they don't make Champions League, that's a £40 million deficit. Straight away. As much as money as you make out of, I was like, wait a minute, the Emirates is always full. How can they be losing money? If you have a high cost base, yes, the stadium enables them to do that, but a lot of it's Champions League revenue. One of the things that I'm very proud of, and we've got to give credit to Daniel Levy, he's kept our costs low. Yes, Luka Modric may come in on £100,000 a week, probably he will do. Adebayor, £100,000, but there's a ceiling he won't hit. He'll keep his wages, and around the £100,000 mark, and that's important, hugely important. Not only that, one of the things I don't think the Emirates has, I don't think they've got that kind of, the way that what the O2 is now. It's not only just an entertainment venue; it's a shopping venue. It's a huge retail venue. If they had better transport, they'd be colossus. It was just amazing how big that thing would be. And Levy's been very smart. He's not just looked into, because Chelsea had that Chelsea Village at the hotel, didn't work out. You know, what Daniel Levy's doing is starting to look remarkable. He's been very, very astute. He's kept our wages low. Yeah, he's made mistakes. The Ramos thing, I'd like to blame more, is it Paul Barber or Paul Kemba, I think it was, the guys from BlackRock. But if you look at what he's done, you can make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. But can you recover from them? And can you recover from enough to really make headway? And luckily for us, we've been able to make headway. I think in terms of going forward, I mean, this is a huge game. It's a weird way, but you know what? And I know sometimes I hate mistakes, but I feel sorry for them. You know, because they're in MLAs, and with FFP, they're not going to be able to get out of it. Kroenke's not going to put a huge amount of money in, and TV money is not going to be enough. That place needs investment. You know, the Emirates is an incredible stadium, soulless, passionless, but you know, they could have done a lot more. Yes, they've developed it, and they've got their property in residential, and residential makes you a lot of money without a doubt. But it's not. It's a goose that lays its egg once. You know, you have to invest that money, invest it somewhere quite smartly. Had they been able to invest it, I don't know. Whereas I think with the North NDP, if we get that right, and we turn it into this incredible retail entertainment venue with Tottenham, you know, we could make some severe money out of this. It's sustainable, because we can't just rely on Champions League as our source of funding. We can't just rely on the Premier League as our source of funding. We can't just rely on stadiums and match their revenues. It's so many different revenue streams that will have to make us that. So it's incredible, and I'm hoping that we can, obviously from a personal point of view, I'd love to sink Arsenal, but in a weird way, I do feel sorry for them. And do you know what? If we kill them, if we really bad and we say, do you know what, we feel kind of bad for you, that'll piss them off even more than any amount of dropping, any amount of insults we can do. Anyway, as always, I'm hoping you enjoy this podcast. Sorry, I'm a little more serious, a bit more business lunchy than football focus, but I think it's important to look at all aspects, and I think Levy's done that. Hopefully in the summer we'll only sign 2-3 players. We'll probably move a lot of players on, and I think that core of only buying 2 or 3, and just what I call freshening up the squad, no major investment. I think that is the key. If we can keep doing that every season, we just freshen it up. We don't do massive investments, and players will come to us because we are at the highest, at a really high level, and you play for us. And you're not going to get a huge amount of money compared to what the Chelsea's and Man City's, but I don't think that Chelsea and Man City's model is sustainable. I really don't. If you look at the FFP, it's going to be hard to sustain that model. I think the only way you get around it is if you're Real Madrid and you manage to sell your land to them, send land to the government for an extraordinary amount of money. And even then, you're going to severely be in debt. I think football is an amazing business, and it still is. It's a business and has to be managed properly. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this. As always, comments, if you get Skype requests, hit me up. I'm always willing to do them. As always, come on you Spurs.